This is chapter 2, the science of sexuality. In this chapter, they go over the term sexology, which was the study of sex. And this is not a term that is used anymore. We do now the study of sociology, how society views sex. A lot of this work was done in earlier eras during times where a lot of the research was based more on ideas versus actual science. Some of these studies were really far-fetched and out there, and even though they don't seem to be really in touch, some of them, I feel that you can find connections even to them now during this modern time. Sexuality was seen as a natural and to procreate only. It was looked at really bad to be seen with a sexual drive, except during the Victorian era when they really put the emphasis on the women empowerment, women taking care of their own body sexual needs, which was a big deal during that time. And I think we even do that now. There's a lot of women who are out there fighting for their rights to be okay with their own bodies now. Back then as well, I think almost everybody that was mentioned in this book agreed that homosexuality was viewed as an illness and that it could be cured or they could fix the person. I think it's, again, you can kind of touch bases with that now. There's still some churches that do it now that they say they can change a person's view on it. I think they still have camps and things like that to heal people from homosexuality. I know that there is some churches that do now accept people who identify as that, but this is kind of how it shows that some people just don't change in their ways, and somehow things that we read now and we feel are out of place or out of whack or can still be seen in our society today. The one thing I did find extremely out there was Freud's I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. His idea of the Oedipus complex, which I thought was really crazy. The idea that a little boy is afraid that his penis will be cut off because a girl is different than him in that anatomy, and the fact that he thought that a little girl could be and have such hate or feelings towards their mother. And I think even today, though, people still say that women try to marry who their father is. So I think almost everything is incorrect about how he thought, except the fact that most of the time people talk about how they want to marry someone like their father. You know, if they grew up in an okay, stable home, you know, where the dad was a great example. But it does talk about that he had some of the most out there ideas, and they weren't always accepted. Most of them were not. Unlike Kinsey had great turning point during after the World War, I believe it was two, and how he changed the fact and the idea of the double standards and how women were seen to be bad if they had any sexual desires. And how men, you know, if it was okay for them to have countless and a high number and to be seen as this macho person. I also think how the feminist contribution, how they've put up a fight, and the representation that they've held brings new light to and new meaning to how we view sexuality, and how we sometimes don't consider how wide the scope can really be from being from intersexual, the homosexualities, the LGBTQ community, how women and over everything, it seems like the men are the ones that hold the most spot in sexuality, and they're okay, uh, which I think still kind of holds its own here in the United States now. But there is a lot of change, like the Me Too movement. It talks about how the woman needs to be consensual to it, and that it's not okay for a man to just take it whenever they want it.